when we look at the past 10 years, even including COVID, China ran somewhere around 750,000 barrels a day of annual growth. Today, they're at about half of that. And so, at 300,000 or 400,000 barrels a day of demand growth, that's pretty anemic. China's economy doesn't look like it's ready to accelerate dramatically at this point. And so I think that that's kind of where we'll wind up, 300,000 or 400,000 barrels a day. The rest of the world gets you to about 1 million barrels a day of demand growth. There's easily 1 million barrels a day of supply growth without OPEC. So will China pick up? I'm not counting on it for 2024. But remember, it's still, it's 40% of global growth. So it's not a small number. It's just smaller than usual.
Yeah, from 700 to 300, that's more than halving, right? In terms of the growth potential there, running at a rate of 14, 15 million barrels per day. What about India at 5 million barrels per day? Because I remember having a fairly expansive conversation with the Indian oil minister, who was very upbeat about energy demand in India.
Mm-hmm. India is the bright spot in the world, frankly, from a demand perspective. Sort of growing population, GDP improving, per capita consumption improving. So India is the bright spot. If you lost China and India at the same time, oil would be materially lower. Oil, Brent would be trading in the 60s, if not the 50s. So, you do have bright spots around the world. The question that people are asking is, are the bright spots enough? If you have a recession, oil's going to move lower with GDP.
Will we have a recession? You're talking about the U.S.?
My expectation, so I've been waiting for a recession in the U.S. for 3 years. It hasn't showed up. We see intermittent fears of a hard landing versus a soft landing. My expectation is we muddle through. In a muddle through environment, I think the oil markets are going to be okay. I'm actually looking for sort of $85 Brent through 2027 as an average price. We're going to have volatility in the intermediate and near term, but we see a pretty balanced and healthy market with good discipline. So will we have a U.S. recession? Above my pay grade, but generally I think thinking about a moderate to softish landing is an okay baseline expectation.